up a profile page, and he was replying back to the students. He was answering their questions. He was challenging them further, and instantly the students saw that really I am not the only expert that they can learn from. And so my job became, at that point, more of a connector between other really brilliant people and the students in our community. So a closer look at one of our situations. Here's a blog post written by one of our students, and he says about Chapter 4 that it was a really exciting situation. Only a phenomenal author can make the main character of a book or a chapter a rock or a fossil. And Torin wrote, as a pull-out quote, "I think it would be really cool to have a sweet coral like OSHA found that was 350 million years old." I also found it interesting that there were some freaking ancient corals in Iowa. And so I got an email about 2 days later from the author, and he sent it directly to me, and he said, "Sean, can you give me an address to the school or to your house? I'd love to send that fossil to Torin." And that kind of blew me away, and of course I gave him my address. I called Torin up, gave him the package, and this is a class act. Here he lists the quote that Torin posted online, and he says, "This is the actual coral that was in the book. It's been in my house long enough. It's time it goes back to the Midwest. Enjoy it." And really, that was such an experience for that student. And if you want to see what the face of engagement looks like, it's that right there. So in evaluating the course and sort of deconstructing what we did that year, Torin, I pulled this quote out of his course evaluation, and he says that by using our site while just thinking my thoughts out loud into cyberspace, an author heard and sent me a piece of ancient history. So again, just a glimpse of some of the things that we're able to do, and I hope some of the things that we'll be able to continue to work on and refine into the future.
Pretty powerful message. The St. Joseph School District, we do have a vision as it relates to technology and supporting education. We would like to believe we have a track record of success, and also that we are ready, willing, and able to embrace the future. The reality, though, is really we can't do what we did at Benton High School 25 more times. We just cannot do that. We can't give every child the tools that we believe will help make them successful in this digital age. We have a lot of limitations, and that, again, is what you saw and commented about in one of the first sessions, and that is that 1% of our budget goes to support technology. The problem's pretty significant for us. It's called the replacement cycle. And when you see these numbers, each of the next several years, that 1% is going to go simply to replace what we currently have. We don't have any ability for growth and innovation. So some of the obstacles that we have, let's say that part of our vision is to provide a wireless mobile digital device to every student. If you took 11,500 students at a price point of around $500, you're looking at a pretty big price tag. Computer technicians to continue to support the technology. If it doesn't work for the students and the teachers, they will not use it. Professional development. We must teach our teachers these best practices, and we obviously would have to increase the replacement cycle. Revenue sources are not stable. Local, state, you're reading in the papers, seeing on the news every day. They're just not stable, and a temporary tax is quite a burden as well. But we've got to talk about this professional development. Listen, the success or failure of using technology in education comes with professional development, growing our teachers, not just our kids. They have to understand and be trained to utilize these best practices. Without proper, adequate professional development, it remains all about the stuff. We don't get that precious return on investment, the untapped value that is lying there waiting for us to take advantage of it. It's like running a race 80 yards and falling down, not crossing the finish line. We've got some budget problems. Again, High school computers here at Central, 6 years old, very expensive to continue to support them. Labs are just pushed into 8 years of service when the funding cycles aren't there. They just keep going, but we don't have parts, the time to keep them up and running. They become a detriment, not a good thing for us. Really, technology's been in schools for about 25 years, so ask yourself, you know, what is it that's so different about today? Now there's this apparent urgency. Well, why does it matter? Well, for change to really occur, social change occurs at a singular point in time when multiple forces collide simultaneously. What are they? Well, those forces are Wi-Fi. So the cable, the cord has been cut. Ubiquitous access is now a reality. Digital content, okay, digital content, access to information in digital form is to a level that it has never been before. It is unprecedented. And the commoditization of the devices. Once the cost of a wireless mobile digital device truly becomes commodity priced, then we are no longer talking about just providing devices for teachers. Now the conversation about a device for every student is truly part of the conversation. As the saying goes, Houston, we've got a problem, okay? Let's say we have the funds to do this. 60% of our kids in St. Joseph qualify for free and reduced lunch. What is their access to really afford and get access to all the digital content from home? It's called equity, folks, and it is a national issue. It's being discussed in Washington, D.C., the halls of Congress, by all of the major technology organizations in the country. If we don't figure out how to provide access to every kid, implementing technology could be more of we could just widen the achievement gap, and we have the potential to do more harm than good. We just can't let that happen. This is a great quote. The future's here. It's just not distributed very evenly. We have to figure out how to solve the equity issue. Listen, the time is now. Anywhere, anytime learning is a possibility. The digital world is hovering above us. It is happening, will happen, whether we want to embrace it or not. It's here. At one time, the ice cutters, they were among the richest men in America. Problem was, they didn't see the refrigerator coming. They missed it. They woke up one day to find themselves irrelevant. So really the question that we have is, what is the future that we want for our students here in St. Joseph? And with that said, I'd like to introduce Brian Bradley. Brian, member of the Bradley family, owners of the St. Joseph News Press Gazette Cable Corporation, and Brian asked if he would be allowed an opportunity to speak to the group. Brian?
Well, I'm going to bring this to a close tonight, but I just wanted to let you all know about a couple things we're working on at St. Joseph Cablevision. First of all, I want to reiterate the asset the St. Joseph School District has access to this fiber optic network. There are probably 1 in 1,000 school districts across the country that have something like this in place. And I know they've brought everybody together tonight to be thinking about how do we get better, and I urge you to keep that on the top of your mind and we always need to be thinking about how do we leverage this asset to its full potential. So we've done a wonderful job at connecting the schools, and Rick Hartigan approached us about 9 months ago and said, we want you to recreate the Benton Library in the homes of 11,000 school children.